Hi Gemini, how are we today? Just doing our weekly reading today, and we have been sort of looking at quite a lot of past energy in the previous All Signs readings and last week's readings. So I thought today we would try to focus a little bit on the new and sort of what's incoming for you there, Gemini. So I will be starting off with a general portion where we're looking at sort of new energy, incoming energy. I've got the Slavic folklore deck when we do look at that. I also want to look this week at career and finances for us as well. So when I move over to career and finances, I do have the Moon Magic Oracle deck there, as well as it's the Reflect de Lune Lenormand deck there as well. Okay, so we'll get started for you today, Gemini. Make sure you do leave a comment on one of my videos so that you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. That will be drawn at when I hit 100 subscribers. So we're almost halfway, guys. So make sure everyone's commenting and subscribing so that we can get that happening for everyone. All right, so Gemini. What's incoming for Gemini this week, please? New energy coming through for Gemini. Okay, and one more. One more for Gemini and that new energy coming through, please. Okay. So Gemini, the newest energy heading your way, we do first have the mountain, which is followed by the anchor there. Okay, so we do sort of feel, the thing that those two cards have in common is that they're pretty solid and steady. They don't sort of move or sway at all. Okay, so we do have some, solid sort of energy headed your way. Now with those two cards, we can also be looking at some sort of overseas connection as well, but the mountain sort of does talk about delays and challenges coming your way and having to put in a bit of hard work at the moment, sort of knuckling down and putting in that hard work so that we can turn those obstacles into new opportunities. Okay, so in a bit of a period at the moment, Gemini, I feel, where we are just sort of in stasis, stationary, not moving super fast forward, not moving backwards either. Okay, just putting in that hard work at the moment to sort of get to where we want to be. And that's just the cycle of life, I suppose. We do have these ebbs and flows. Sometimes we do need to sort of have these more chill out kind of points in life where we are sort of just focusing on what we need to sort of really focus on. So with the anchor there, it does talk about having restraint as well. So, that resilience and putting in, like I keep wanting to say, just keep putting in that hard work, keep on doing it, persevere. The mountain does hold a lot of perseverance with that card as well. So we are seeing that resilience and perseverance coming on through for you this week. The anchor sort of does sort of hold us steady so that we're not swept away by the storm as well. Okay, so and the storm that there may be some sort of a bit of a storm headed. I don't feel it's actually headed straight directly toward you, Gemini. I do feel as though this may actually be more to do with somebody around you. We do have the lady there, which is followed by the fox. So straight away we are looking at a that businessman type energy. I don't like to genderize the female or male. So we are just looking at somebody who is very business minded with that fox energy. Okay, so they may be somehow very important this week. As I said, we are going to be moving into that career side of things shortly, but we are already sort of seeing that coming through. With that perseverance, that hard work needing to be done, you may be really focused on work this week, Gemini. Now, with that fox energy, we do find that that's kind of, yeah, that salesman type energy where they will sort of say whatever they need to say to get the sale from you. Okay, so they can be quite smart and cunning, a little bit trickery element coming through with that. So just a little bit of caution needed when we're dealing with other people this week as well, and just make sure we are sort of checking the fine print and all those sorts of things, and not letting yourself be sold a lemon, so to speak. Okay, so just make sure we're checking all the things that we do need to check, that we aren't getting, a little bit swayed by some persuasive words, or some lovely, that cunning kind of trickery kind of vibe. Okay, so just with that particular fox there, he can be a little bit tricky, and I do feel as though that's talking about a specific person around you. Now this specific person, because we do have the feminine coming out there, they may be somebody important to you in a role of power when it comes to you. But like I said, that businessman, businesswoman type vibe coming through pretty strong. But also they're probably someone who does come across does come across very nurturing and self-empowered, and you know, I don't normally the female energy is quite emotional as well, but I do feel as though this particular person is quite in control of their emotions as well, very self-empowered. Okay, so they may be still quite, an emotional type person, but they are quite in control of that. And if anything, they may use that to their advantage. So just be wary of that there, Gemini. I'll grab you some advice. Advice for Gemini. Okay. Advice for Gemini, please. Okay, so that one that flipped out there was the tower. Okay, so that one really does talk about that fortitude and having strong boundaries, and it does also mention authority with that tower card as well. So, like I said, I do feel as though this person may be in a sort of position of power in connection to you. So just be wary of that, and just keep your boundaries nice and firm, and that should be nothing too dramatic for you there. Like I said, you're busy here, focused on slugging away up this mountain at the moment and putting in that hard work. So don't let anyone sort of cross your boundaries and let you. I feel like don't let anyone sort of let you think that your work is going in the wrong direction, because it's not. You're going up that mountain. It may be taking a bit of time. It may be a little bit delayed. You might be facing some challenges, but you're definitely climbing that mountain. Okay, so you're just in this period where we're needing to sort of take the time to make sure we are looking through things with that fine tooth comb at the moment. And we do also see the solitude element with the tower as well. So it may be sort of something that really needing to sort of knuckle down and just focus on solitary, like by yourself, and put in that hard work by yourself. So I do feel as though other people around you may sort of be trying to pull you back down a little bit, but don't sort of let them. Make sure you've got your boundaries firm, and that should be fine, because then we are seeing that um, you know, we are seeing the ship and then the ring coming through. Okay, so don't lose that sense of fun and adventure within relationships and connections. So whether these be work connections or otherwise, I do feel as though this is talking about sort of outside of this situation, making sure we are sort of starting that journey into relationship space outside of whatever this is going on. Make sure we don't lose that sense of adventure within our personal relationships. Okay, so still making time for yourself as well, even with all this going on, and having that, that element of travel. Okay, so there is also, obviously that this could actually be talking about physical travel as well. So you may be sort of trying to get all this sorted before you travel away, those sorts of things as well. Okay, but I do really feel it's more just talking about, don't forget that that little sense of adventure when it comes to your personal connections as well, and that will help you sort of get through this time where it does feel a little bit sluggish for you there, Gemini. All right, but let me know how that goes for you. But we'll move over to your career portion. I'll just make a note so I can leave a timestamp for you guys. Okay, so Gemini, looking at your career portion, grab you an oracle firstly there. So Gemini with career and finances, please. Gemini, career and finances. Okay, so we are seeing the blue moon card coming through for you, Gemini. So that does say now is a powerful time to set long-term goals and sow seeds for the future. Okay, so I feel like this is very connected to that initial general portion, that mountain, putting in that hard work for those long-term goals and sowing those seeds for your future, putting in the hard work now so that things go a little bit smoother for you in the future there. So on a career aspect, we're definitely sort of looking at your long-term goals. What is it that you want long-term with your career? What financial goals do you have in the future? And sort of starting to sort of sow those seeds to reach those goals, okay? Taking the first steps. Okay, Gemini and career and finance, please. Career and finance for Gemini. Career and finance for Gemini, please. Okay, and just a bit of extra information. Why are we seeing this, please? Why are we seeing this, please? I feel as though it's just talking about your feelings, though, Gemini. Gemini, career and finance. Okay, so Gemini, like I said, I do feel as though this is probably more in your feelings because that was sort of rounded out with the moon card there. Okay, so the moon does talk about our emotional state, and following our intuition a little bit there as well. But we do have the key, which was actually followed by the coffin, which is kind of why I wanted to get some clarity because it feels like, the headspace that you're currently in, Gemini, you actually are feeling like your successes have ended within your career and that you've kind of come to a bit of a standstill, and that something that was successful is now sort of closing down, or we are seeing some sort of the coffin energy talks about death and rebirth. So it does feel as though, you personally feel as though you're moving cycles from something that was super successful for you, and it's now feeling like that's kind of died in the backside. Um, sorry, I just got to be careful with the YouTube standards. So it's kind of feeling like you feel that something has ended, some success within your career or financial status has ended, but I don't feel as though it has. Like we saw in that general portion there, we're just in that lull, and you just need to keep on putting that hard work, keep on persisting, and we will see that being reborn again. The coffin really does talk about that rebirth. Okay, so there may, for some of you, there may have been an opportunity that the door has now closed on. You may have been offered some sort of new sort of option within your career, and that option has now been closed off to you, and you're kind of feeling like maybe I should have gone through that door instead of sticking this out. But I feel that sticking this out is kind of what's needed for you at the moment. But yeah, like we do see on the other side of that, we've got the tower with that moon card there. Okay, so once again, that tower, that you're being a fortress all of your own, and you are needing to take that solitude and assess your emotional state and assess what your intuition really is telling you at this time. I feel as though, if something has closed out for you, don't focus on what opportunity has closed. Focus on what new opportunities we can sort of look at, what can be reborn from closing that opportunity out, rather than dwelling on the negative of that there. So with the tower there, once again, it's quite that fortitude energy coming through quite strong. So having this quite solid, building strong foundations within your finances and your career, as we saw with that blue moon oracle there, it's a really good time for you to be planting the seeds for the future, which that's sort of what the tower is all about. Planting these first bricks really nice and strong so that your tower can grow super tall and be there for a very long time to come. Okay, and when I sort of have asked for a little bit more information for you, Gemini, I do have the dog card and then the clouds card. So once again, we are seeing you sort of thinking things through, feeling a bit heavy in your thoughts. I feel as though that's totally unnecessary. This is all just a part of your path where we are sort of needing to focus on, you know, sowing those seeds now, even though, you may be feeling a little bit confused at the moment, about whether you've done the right thing, whether you've closed off an opportunity that you should have taken, or those kinds of things. I really I am feeling though that it's unnecessary thought at this point. You're overthinking it a little bit too much. Okay, so the clouds can talk about confusion and overthinking. Okay, so I feel as though you are overthinking it just a little bit too much. And the dog really does let us know that, have that compassion for yourself, and stick with the loyalty and protect your sense of loyalty and duty. Okay, so, you are really sowing these new seeds. Okay, we definitely have seen that energy coming through. So just having that faith within yourself that you're doing the right thing, you're staying loyal to yourself, you're on the right path, even if you are feeling overthinking it a little bit at the moment, Gemini. I do feel as though that's all that's happening, is you are sort of just overthinking this energy. But we'll have a look at I'll just grab you a couple more cards just to sort of see where this leads. Where does this all lead for Gemini with their career and finances, please? Okay, yeah. So like I said, my vibe on that energy was pretty spot on, that we are just sort of sowing those new seeds that are going to, stick us out for the long term, all right? Because we do have the garden, which is followed by the ring and then the lily. Okay, so the garden really does talk about you know, somewhere restful, social, positive. It is a very positive card. But I kind of feel like this particular card has come out less because of the meeting aspect. You may have some important work meetings coming up. That may be something that factors in for a couple of Geminis there. But what I'm really sort of drawn to with this card is, if you have a look at this garden card, it is all these sort of flowers along here. You can even see the little dotted seeds along the bottom there. Okay, so it really emphasizing that sowing the seeds of the future kind of energy for us there, I feel, and just be restful and social at the moment. And then we do have that ring card, which is just confirming to us that it is just the cycle that we're in at the moment. It doesn't mean that it's anything negative. It's just, with that ring, you do find that while we're here at the bottom, just slogging away, working hard, you will come back around. It continues on. It does get better from this overthinking energy, all right? Excuse me. And that's sort of topped off with that lily energy. So the lily energy is a career card. So it really does talk about, this working out super well for the long term. It does have a lot of longevity, this lily card. Okay, so even if you feel like you're at the bottom of this ring at the moment, and you sort of can't see your way clear at the moment. You're overthinking things. You're just a little bit anxious that you may have made wrong decisions there when it comes to this, but you're really laying those foundations strong so that this cycle is actually going to continue and become quite fruitful for you as well. With that lily there, it really does talk about these things paying off for you in the long term. So, it may be a little bit of a slower period for you this week, Gemini, with work and career and finances. But, it's all about setting these goals for the long term, and sowing the seeds for things now that are going to pay off for you in the long term. Okay. So, try to think about that. When you start your little phase of overthinking, really try to remind yourself of that, it may be a little bit of hard work now, but it really will pay off for you in the long run there. You sowing some seeds there, building that tower strong so that, you can reach the top, okay? But thank you so much for your time today, Gemini. Like I said, make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. But hopefully I'll see you all again soon.